Welcome to Thursday Night Live. I am Teresa Harper, your independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, located in Oregon in the United States of America. So happy that you came to join me tonight. As you can tell, I'm a little under the weather, but we're going to see how this goes. Let's see how the cough holds out and hope that none of you are unhealthy. And then we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to be using the linked together stamp and die bundle, which also has some decorative masks. So let's go ahead and get this up and see if anyone jumps on. Hello, Tracy. Let's see, how does that picture look? I could move this a little more this way, I think. It's kind of, there we go. Blurred out. Let's see if it'll come back into focus. There we go. All right, let's move. Well, I can't move that up. It's not gonna move up unless I move this and this. Let's see. All right, well, let's move these things up and we'll see what we've got. All right. Seems like I've been a hot minute since I've been on. And let's get going. Is that looking blurry to you? Or is it just my eyes? Oh, let's see. Let's see. All right, looks good. All right, thank you, Tracy. Thanks so much. All right. So we're going to be using the linked together stamps and dies, like I said. This bundle can be purchased. Each item can be purchased individually in my online store, or you can purchase all three as a bundle and save 10% off of the individual piece price. Okay. Now, it's also celebration. So with every $60 purchase here in the United States, you can choose a celebration item for free. And there are no limits to how many free items that you can get. And that goes through the end of this month, February 2025. Okay, so I'm just going to show you some samples with the decorative masks because we are not using these tonight. These are just some strips that I've made. And actually, to get these strips, what I did was I made my piece and then I just trimmed it out and then cut it into 1 1/4 inch strips. Okay, so you get 5 masks. This is what it looks like when you use masks 1, 2, and 3. This includes masks 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I didn't keep the one that I used 5 on because I really didn't care for it. I prefer to use number 5 individually. So these are meant to stack, and they have these little notches so that you can line them up. And then each one is numbered as to how it should go. Or the suggested way to go, of course, you do you, because crafty girls do what they want. All right, so we're basically going to be using the dies and the stamps tonight. So let's go ahead and set those aside. I've done some pre-cut pieces. And we're going to start with a Melon Mambo card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and I've scored it in the middle at 4 1/4 and folded it in half. Okay, we've got that piece. Then we have a piece of Country Woods Designer Series paper. This is from the annual catalog. It's been around a while. And we're actually going to we can just add this right to our card base right now. We don't need to add any other treatments. So I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal and add that to my card base. And I'm going to move this down so I can see if there's any other things in the chat. Okay. So we'll just center that up as best we can. Then you'll need a piece of basic white, and this is cut at 2.5, yep, by 3 7/8, right? Yeah, 3 7/8. Okay. So this piece we're going to do a little ink blending on. Let's go ahead and get that done right now. So we're going to bring in some Melon Mambo, Summer Splash, and Pretty in Pink. These two are the current 24 to 26 in colors, and this is a color that's been around for a while and is in our regular collection. So we're going to start on the bottom with Summer Splash, and I'm just going to ink up my brush and wipe that off on my glass mat, and then swirl that around. I don't want to go above 1/3. And then we'll take our Pretty in Pink, and I might need to, this might be a little, I had Melon Mambo on this earlier, so hopefully it's not too dark with Melon Mambo. Okay, so we've got that, Pretty in Pink. Actually, I'm going to add more of that Pretty in Pink just to make sure it's more pinky than the Melon Mambo. All right, and then we're going to add some Melon Mambo to the top. And I'm just going to use the same brush, and I'm going to wipe some of that off and then add that to the top. Kind of swirl that into the Pretty in Pink, and you can definitely see that I have 3 tones of ink there. This is the beauty of this glass mat. Now I can just take my little chamois that comes with the Glass Mat Studio, wipe up that ink and any adhesive that's been left behind on my glass mat. That works really well for that. And this is available in the online store in the online exclusive section. Everyone should have one of these, I think. All right, so now we've got this piece. And from Pecan Pie, we've cut the linked together, one of this lattice die from the Linked Together. I've cut that in Pecan Pie. Now, I've actually cut it twice in Pecan Pie. I've cut it once in Pecan Pie with the two-tone Pecan Pie cardstock, and I've also cut it with the regular Pecan Pie cardstock. So these are the two, and this one is the regular. This is the two-tone. It's a little lighter weight than our regular, but I want to show you something with this, and then I want you to make a decision on which piece we should use. Okay? So with the two-tone cardstock, I'm going to take a little fingernail file, buffer thing, and I'm going to very gently sand over the top of that. And you need to be very gentle, because if you're not, you'll rip, 1, your lattice, and 2, you don't want that to come apart. Okay, so we'll just rough that up a bit. Now, if I were to do this technique with this paper, I would not get the same effect, because our regular cardstock is solid core, which means that the color goes clear through. The two-tone cardstock is a darker color on one side, a lighter color on the other, and it has a white core. So let's put this down, and then you can see the difference here. So that's what it will look like with the distressed look. And then here is the regular cardstock with no distressing. Okay? And hopefully you can see that. Let me hold that up to the camera so you can get a good look. So that is the regular cardstock. This is the two-toned cardstock that I have distressed. Okay, now we are going to add this to a piece of that Country Woods designer paper here. So we need to decide which one we're going to use. Will we use the distressed piece? Oops. Or will we use the regular cardstock? Okay. So you think about that for a moment. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to set this aside and these pieces aside, and we're going to get out our other pieces. So we have some Summer Splash cardstock, just a scrap, a couple of scraps that are about the same size from Melon Mambo, and a couple of scraps of Pretty in Pink, which are also the same size. Okay, and we're going to cut some flowers and some foliage. So let's grab the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss and our plates. And we're going to bring in that Melon Mambo. I'm going to turn this plate over. Bring in that Melon Mambo. I've got two pieces now, and I'm stacking them on top of each other. And I'm going to cut this die here. And then I'm going to take my Pretty in Pink cardstock. And again, I'm going to stack that together and take my petals and place that on. Now, I'm not going to mess with the Summer Splash at this moment because I don't want to have a problem there. Oh, okay, I don't have my stack here just right. I don't have my E set up here. Let's make sure nothing moved when I did that. Hang on, let's put this back over here and run that through. Okay, now we should be good. All right, so now I'm cutting two thicknesses of cardstock all at the same time, which is going to give me 8 of these little pink flowers. Okay, and I'll have 4 of the Melon Mambo flowers. Okay, now really I need 5, but I have pre-cut some, so we're fine. I'm not going to cut any more because we're good with those. And okay, now we also need our foliage pieces. So let's go ahead and take this Summer Splash. I'll put that on, put this on, and we'll roll this through our machine as well. Okay, let's bring back in the mini boss. Roll that through. And we actually need 2 of these small ones. But like I said, I've already done some ahead, so we're only going to roll it the one time. You don't need to watch me keep rolling things through because you've gotten the idea at this point. And let's get that done. Okay, So we'll move this out of the way. Hang on 1 second. My cat decided to push her way into the studio, which leaves the door open, and then I can hear the television out front. So I had to get that closed up. Okay, let's get that out. Push these out. Come on. There we go. All right, so we've got that. Now we can set these pieces aside. Let's get that back on our, okay. Now the next cat's in here. Oh my goodness. You just get it closed and then we get more company. If they start fighting, I'm not going to be happy. All right. Hello, Laura. Hello, Cynthia. You like the regular, Tracy? Okay. Well, we'll ask again because I see we have more people on. So I'll just go ahead and show that again really quickly. Okay, so we've got this piece that has regular pecan pie cardstock on this lattice piece. And then we have the two-tone cardstock that I've distressed. Here. Sorry, cat crawled up on my working surface here, and he knows he's not supposed to. So we've got that. So you'll have to choose. Tracy says use the regular. Go ahead and enter your opinion. And I'm going to kick the cat out again. Yeah, go. Thank you. Okay. There, now I've closed the door tightly so he can't get back in. And we won't have any more issues. Sorry about that. Okay, so now what did I do with my take your pick tool? I'm going to go ahead, because I ran two of these through at a time. They're kind of stuck together. Oh, no, actually they're popping right off of there. Oh, nice. Okay, so I only need 5 of these. And I've pre-done some of them, so you don't have to watch me do them all. But we're going to pop this off. I just take my take your pick tool and get between those layers and gently pull that apart. Okay, now I'm going to take my Melon Mambo ink and a sponge dauber. And I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to add just a little bit of ink to the outer edges of my petals. And only on my small ones. I'm not doing the large ones. Just a little flick. You can do this with the blending brush, but I like the results better with the sponge dauber. I did try it both ways. Okay. But of course, crafty girls do what they want, so whatever is in your creative nature is what you will do. Okay, so let's go ahead. We've got 5 of these now. I'm going to take my glue dots, my mini glue dots, and I'm just going to press these into the center of my glue dots, like so. I want the centers out of these. It'll make it easier for me to line them up with the bigger flower. Okay, and I already have these done, so we're just gonna set those aside, get the glue dot off my finger. Okay, we'll set those aside. Now we'll bring in our Melon Mambo flowers. And Okay, let's grab this. And I'm just going to offset these petals a bit and try to line up the centers of the flower. And I'll know I got it lined up when I can't see any pink in the center, any of the melon mambo in the center. Okay, so we'll do this to these three, because I'll end up using some of these on the inside of my card. So let's stick that down. Okay, well now while I've got those like that, let's see, let's grab these other ones that I had ready to go and do a couple more, put those down. And if I didn't say this, the lighter color is Pretty in Pink, Melon Mambo, and then my foliage is in Summer Splash. Okay, so we've got that. So now I've got my 5 flowers for my outside. So let's set this out of the way. Move my tools. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I'm going to take the tip of my putty end of my Take Your Pick tool with the cap on, and I'm going to give that a press in the center. I'm going to pop those flowers up. Okay. And then we'll set these aside for a second. I'm going to get some more glue dots. We'll add these to the glue dots. I didn't want to do that beforehand because I wanted to be able to press it down into the Stampin' Pierce mat. And I couldn't do that with a full-blown mini glue dot on the back. Okay. So now this is ready to go. We've got those. Now we have to make a decision on which piece we're going to use here. Distressed or not. Okay, I'm going to give you just a minute. And then I'm going to start gluing. So I have to do this before I could move forward. Although I could take one more minute. I don't think my comments are rolling. All right. Well, I only see that Tracy said I like the regular. Not seeing any other comments, so I'm going to go with the regular, ladies. All right. So to put this down, I'm just going to take and put a little bit of glue at the edge of my lattice piece here. Trying to go to the inside edge because my white piece is a little smaller than the lattice piece. And then I'll just put a few dots of liquid glue on some of these cross pieces. Okay, I don't have to do every one. I'm going to bring back in my silicone mat and my ink blended piece. And then I'm just going to lay this down over the top and let that lay there for a second. Bring in a block, give that a press, All right, now we can start working on this. So now we're going to bring in our foliage. Okay. And I'm going to stick that right in there. I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue here and there. I don't need a bunch. I do want some kind of up here to hold this taut. And then I'm going to stick this into this little piece of lettuce right there. I don't want to get too crazy so that I can't get my sentiment here. So I'm going to put this up kind of like that. Give that a press. Come in here with my smaller foliage piece. And let's see, let's just stick this right here, right over the top, like so, and let it lay off a little bit. It's okay. Got plenty of room on the side for that. Okay, and before I go any further now, I'm going to add this to my card front. A little bit of liquid glue. Okay, let's bring back in that card front. I'll lay this down like so. That does not look quite straight. Let me see if I can scoot it. That liquid glue, just a titch. I got a little rough with it. That's not good. Okay, well, good enough. Now, we can start adding our flowers. So let's go ahead and take our little flowers. I'm going to put one up here. Boy, that's being stubborn coming off. And I'm going to put one down here. Those glue dots are like very serious, like they want to stay there. It's almost as if they're screaming, please, please don't use me. Okay, I want this one to go just a titch higher than the other one, so I'll put that right there. And yes, I do still have exposed glue dot in the middle. And then we're just going to put this one down here. Okay. Now I can take and raise these up a bit more. Of course, when you put it in the mail, they'll get smushed a bit. All right, so we've got that. Now we're going to add some shimmer gems. These are the 2024 to 2026 in color shimmer gems. I'm going to take a large one and put up here in the center of the top flower. And then I'm basically just going to do every other one. Hold for one moment, please. I feel a cough coming on. My throat's getting dry. Let's get a drink of water and see if we can head that off. Okay. So now I've got those. Now I'm going to go ahead and give those a good push in. At the end of my take your pick tool. Okay. And here is what we have so far. Okay. Now, we're going to finish this off with a sentiment. Oops. And we need to get something to wipe this glue. It's like oozing. Let's plug that hole. There we go. Okay, so we'll just bring in a piece of basic white here. And we're bringing in Wishing You and The Best from Linked Together stamp set. So we've got Wishing You and The Best. And for the sentiment, I'm going to use some pecan pie. And hopefully this works out well for me because I did just ink this pad earlier because it seemed extra dry. So let's go ahead, ink up Wishing You. And then we have The Best. Okay. And now we're going to draw around the sentiment with a pencil. And then I'm just going to cut that. I'm going to fussy cut that. I like to draw around it first so that I have a guide to know what I would like it to look like. I can always erase a pencil line if I don't think it looks nice, but I can't erase a scissor line. So it's a little trick. Makes it a little bit easier for me. Stampin' Up! Would just come out with a essential sentiment set that had dies that went with it. That would be so fabulous. I think I would only need one sentiment set, and that is it. Okay, so now I just erase my lines. There's my sentiment. Not really happy with the way that looks quite right there. So I'm just going to go back in, trim that a bit till it looks like I want. Okay, now I'm happier with that. All right, so let's add this with some dimensionals. And then I'll take a couple of minis so my ends don't sag. Why is it when you want the flat part to go at the top, it doesn't want to do that for you? Okay, so there we go. Got those. And they don't want to go back in their spot out of my way. Okay. That one didn't. That's being stubborn too. Okay, let's bring back in the card. And we're going to stick this. I'm going to try sticking this in here. I kind of like to tuck it a little bit. Like so. Let's see how straight that is. Okay, there we go. There is the front of our card. Now let's go ahead and grab some linen thread. And I think we'll add a linen thread bow to that. Let's see where my linen thread is. Oh, it's right there in front of my nose. Silly me. right here. I think this will be great. So let's get out our bow jig. I swear by my bow jig. I have such a hard time tying bows anymore with my fingers. My thumbs don't like to work all the time. With all the fiddly bits. So anytime I can use the bow jig, I'll be better off. Okay. So now we've got our bow. Oops, those were the scissors. They didn't plop into their little spot. They decided to fall over. Real life crafting here. All right, so I'm going to take a glue dot and I'm going to put my knot right on my glue dot. Grab the glue dot with my tweezers, give it a pinch. And then I think we'll put this right here. Spread those two out a bit. And there we are. I guess I needed the scissors again anyway. See how my fingers do not want to work? Those thumbs, they give me some, it's a little bit hard. I got, this one is just a little bit too long. Okay, so there is the front of our card. Now let's go ahead and put something on the inside. So for the inside of our card, we're going to take a piece of white that is 3.5 by 4 7/8. That feels like I have more than one. I like to keep my inside pieces pre-cut for easy access. I'm going to take a piece of that same Country Woods Designer Series paper. This is a 1/2 inch strip. And I'm just going to add this to the right side of my card layer. Give that a good press down. Trim that off with my scissors. Let me get another drink. Sorry about that. And then we're going to take another one of those foliage pieces. We're going to add this to the inside here, just to add a little something, because the party shouldn't stop when they open the card. So I'm just going to put this down here at the bottom and press that down. Okay. Okay, apparently I didn't want to press down. All right. And there we have the inside of a card. I'm not adding a sentiment right now because wishing you the best could be for an anniversary, for a birthday, for a wedding, for all kinds of things. So when I figure out what it's going to be for, I will add that sentiment. And there is our finished card. Okay. Now for the inside of my card, or for the envelope, I actually took a piece from a stamp from Choose Happy You guys all know I love this little stamp set. It has all kinds of the cute little images, bunch of sentiments, and the flower. Because this one didn't have anything stamped and I needed something stamped on the front, I used the Choose Happy. And then happiness inside on the flap comes from the online exclusive set Sharing Loving Crafting, and it's right here. This is really nice because you can put handcrafted by. These meet the angel policy guidelines if you want to sell your creations. And then who doesn't want something that says just to brighten your day, or sharing what I love, loving what you do, crafted with you in mind. I like to put this across my envelope flap too. So there we have it. I hope you liked the card this evening. And at this point, I am planning to be back on Facebook Live on Tuesday night at 7. And then I'll be back here next Thursday night on YouTube at 7 again. Until then, everybody, stay healthy, have a great time, and do some stamping. Oh, thanks, you guys. I'm so glad you like that. Have a good night.